We're going to tackle the frustrating "No Firebase App Default has been created. Call Firebase App initializeApp" error.
This error, despite seemingly having called initializeApp, is surprisingly common and stems from several possible causes. Let's break down the most frequent culprits and how to fix them. 1. Incorrect import. The first and most overlooked issue is an incorrect or missing import statement. Make absolutely certain you've imported initializeApp from the correct Firebase module. It should look something like import initializeApp from Firebase App. Double-check the spelling and ensure the path to Firebase App is accurate within your project's dependencies. If you're using a module bundler like Webpack or Parcel, verify that your configuration correctly handles Firebase imports. A typo in the import statement or an incorrect package installation can lead to this error, even if you think you've called initializeApp. 2. Configuration file issues. Your Firebase configuration file, typically Firebase config.js's or similar, holds your project's credentials. Even a small mistake here, like a typo in your API key, database URL, or any other setting, will stop initializeApp from functioning correctly. Carefully review this file. Even a single misplaced comma or incorrect value will lead to failure. Ensure the values in this file perfectly match your Firebase project's settings in the Firebase console. If you're copying and pasting, make sure you haven't accidentally added or removed any spaces or characters. 3. Multiple initializeApp calls. Calling initializeApp more than once in your application, potentially in different modules or files, is a common error. Firebase doesn't handle multiple initializations gracefully. This can happen inadvertently if you have different parts of your code trying to initialize Firebase independently. Consolidate your calls. Ensure initializeApp is called only once, preferably at the very start of your application's execution, perhaps in your main application file or entry point. 4. Asynchronous operations. If you're calling initializeApp within an asynchronous function, like async await or a promise, and attempting to access Firebase services before the initialization completes, this error will occur. Remember, initializeApp is asynchronous, meaning it takes time to configure. You must ensure that any Firebase operations happen after initializeApp has successfully completed. Use then, in promises, or await in async functions to wait for initialization to finish before proceeding with other Firebase actions. 5. Caching and browser issues. Occasionally, caching issues within your browser or build process can lead to stale code that prevents correct Firebase initialization. Try clearing your browser's cache, hard reloading the page, Ctrl+Shift+R or CMD+Shift+R, or even trying a different browser. Furthermore, ensure your build process isn't inadvertently caching old versions of your Firebase configuration or code. 6. Incorrect Firebase package version. In some cases, an incompatibility between your Firebase package version and other dependencies in your project might cause unexpected behaviors. Double-check your package JSON to ensure you have a compatible version of the Firebase packages installed, and consider upgrading to the latest stable version. Using the npm update command or yarn upgrade command to update packages is essential. 7. Missing dependencies. Even after successfully installing the Firebase packages, sometimes there could be missing dependencies required by Firebase itself. Check the Firebase documentation for any extra dependencies your project might need. The error messages during installation sometimes provide insights into these missing components. Remember to carefully check each point. Debugging this error often involves a methodical process of elimination, starting with the simplest solutions, import statements, and progressing to the more complex, asynchronous operations. By systematically addressing these possibilities, you should be able to resolve the "No Firebase App Default has been created" error and successfully connect your application to Firebase.